So you're about to launch a digital product. You've got enough resources to develop it, but you're still not quite sure about the market needs. You feel like maybe there's enough templates, enough plugins, enough whatever. And so what you're trying to figure out is how to find something that people need. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So the way I want to approach this is because the assumption here is that right now you're a little bit overwhelmed with the potential and the possibility, right? Like clearly there's potential, and clearly there's possibility, but what is it going to be for you, right? How do you find something unique that people need? And so if we think about a scenario where that becomes easy to figure out, then we can create that scenario and we can figure it out easily. Okay. So imagine people coming to you with those needs and saying, "Hey, I'm willing to pay a premium for you to solve this for me." If you can imagine that, right, then we can create that circumstance. And the way we create that is we have to lead by giving solutions to problems that these people have already, figuring out how to just do that at scale. And the scale is going to be dependent on your market. Right? So this is a Squarespace entrepreneur podcast. So let's use this market as an example. And I'll give you my approach. And this is how I approach any market. But we'll just be specific to this one. So in the beginning, when I decided that, okay, my customer is going to be Squarespace designers, it eliminated all the other small business owners that I could focus on or target or all everything else I was doing. It became hyper focused, and so now I was able to find all of the places that Squarespace designers congregated, and so it was a lot, but it wasn't as many as if I was just trying to reach small business owners, or what like something big and broad. But it was specific enough where now I could, like, I think about like setting up shop, right? Okay, this is where the people who I want to serve and create solutions for, this is where they congregate. Now, what are the problems that they have, and how can I just go on about helping to solve those problems? No expectation of anything other than I want to learn what the problems are and I want to practice my ability to solve them. Now, it just so happens that I'm a problem solver by nature, but in a way where it's like if you give me like the thing growing up, the thing that I used to get like the big hit from was, you're in class and there's a problem that is like the teacher has said, whoever can solve this problem, you win the game kind of thing. And I would solve the problem. But that was my thing. Like that was where I got the biggest like feeling of like, satisfaction. Because once if a problem was like desirable, once I started, I couldn't stop trying. Like I couldn't stop um trying to turn it over. Doesn't matter it didn't matter like who else was trying or whatever. It was just like, I'm hooked. I'm hooked to this quest, to this search for a solution. And so that problem solving nature and then the like search quest type of nature, um, when those combine, it's like, all right, I'm at the mercy of my nature. But putting myself in a situation or circumstance where that nature can just be, right? Which is, okay, I'm trying to build a business here on the internet, where my customers congregating, where are they sharing their problems, and which of those problems am I most motivated to solve at any given point in time. And so in the beginning, I made that like a habit where I don't solve as many problems willy nilly as once upon a time, but I still have, like, this morning, I still wake up and think, okay, what problem can I help people solve today at scale? And what's the scale? Well, it's a few dozen people that I'm helping today with this particular problem. But so it's not like, millions, but I don't know. I'm one of you. We are a part of the same thing. So helping you with this, it just makes sense for me because I know that long term, and this is just true, right? Long term, if someone is just like helping you solve some problems and they don't have anything for you to buy or anything like that, at some point in time when they do have something to buy, and if it does make sense for you, you don't have to think about whether it's going to be useful because so much has already been useful for free. And so that's how you get people coming to you with those needs, is like, if you can just start with just identifying what people are, griping about now, and helping them for free, and make that a habit of not expecting, but um, gathering data for yourself and gathering practice for yourself, then it doesn't take long for those needs to arrive and say, hey, I'm willing to pay a premium for you to solve this. And then in response, okay, yes, I'll take your money to solve it. Um, but I'll also solve it in a way where if anyone else has this problem and they can't pay a premium, there's a solution that they can use to do it themselves. So if I were to apply that same idea to this podcast episode, I would take the transcript to this episode and the three other episodes that I recorded and trashed before this. I'll take those transcripts and I'd just keep refining it until I feel like it really, in the most clear and succinct way, answers this question of how do I find something that people need in the way that I've just described it. And with that transcript, I could come back and make another uh, episode, right? Or I can make it a YouTube video, or I could make it a lesson in something, or whatever. But now this whole thing that we're experiencing, now it becomes an asset where this just helps anyone who's coming along and is like, yeah, I got that right now. What you got for it? Because that's what we're doing when we have a problem, like especially on the internet, and people have headlines that speak to us, or we're listening to things that speak to us. We're listening to say like, all right, what do you have, right? Because I'm looking for someone who's got a solution that is in alignment with what I believe, and what I believe to be true and possible. And a lot of times, the reason that's difficult is because there's a part of your belief and what you believe to be true that has to change and shift in order to accomplish something that you've never accomplished. And so we have to find people who have slightly different beliefs, but who we can still trust them because they've once held our belief. So they at least know us because they've been us, but they're also communicating a different result and a different possibility because they've chosen to believe something different. And if I can, make sense of that added belief, or that belief shift, and I can accept it and I can act on it or from it without having seen the result for myself yet, then eventually I'll see the result that they've seen and that they are offering to me. So hopefully you found that useful. My calendar is open this month for coaching and consulting calls. If you've got some like immediate thing where you're like, yo, I need some feedback on this to get to like the next step, and you want my specific advice directly, and or some support in terms of distribution and getting it out there, hit me up. I'll give you a link to my calendar. I think July, I'm going to be doing a lot of family stuff. So I want to get a lot of that done this month, because I'm also opening up my longer term coaching, which is for people who have um, projects that are a little bit bigger where okay, I'm in this for like multiple seasons, like I'm in this for the long run, and I would like some support that is gonna kind of just get me from, 0 to 100 basically. So I've got a 6 month engagement that is specifically for you. And so hit me up if you're interested as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.